This is a 6-card 3080 non-LHR setup right now. All right, we're waiting for 998, 2 blocks. Let's go. History in the making. Anybody that's been following the channel for a while knows BBT's been around for quite a long time. I'm literally the oldest channel on YouTube when it comes to mining. This channel was made in 2013, teaching you guys all how to mine. For those lucky few that found me in 2013 and started mining, you have done pretty well, my dudes. So it's all in perspective. You're watching the channel now, you've never mined in your life. You have a graphics card, you can partake, and then who knows, in another, what's that, 8 years, 9 years? Jesus, 9 years on this YouTube channel. Oh, here we go, here we go. We got 997 still. We're still working on the same solution, 997. So that just meant that this laptop completed its share of work and went back to the watering hole here to get some more work, and it still was on 997. Now here we go. Oh, we just banged out 2 in a row, 998 and 999 back to back. So 998 got solved almost immediately. 999, we got 1 block left. 1 block left. Bam, there it is, my dudes. Generating new epoch. Here we go. Single buffer. It's done. Ravencoin is now at 2,500 coins per block. It is done. You see the DAG generating DAG for new epoch. For epoch 200. And nice. We are going. We're going to watch 1 move over. So we're going to see 21 or 2,100,000 block and 1. We'll do it. We'll refresh this here. We caught it live. All 354 of you guys got to see history in the making. Oh man, look at that! It broke the Explorer. There it goes. It refreshed.
It happens.
Block 21.
All right,
and
so
we are on 2101, and that's what we wanted to see. We wanted to see it switch over and click over to now a new block, and now Ravencoin profitability has been halved because the price has still stayed the same. So now it's going to go way down on the list for a bit until Ravencoin starts to get some price discovery. Let's switch back. So there it was. Congratulations for anybody that's been in this space for a while and got to see their first halving. I know it's like, dude, the number just changed. Like, what do you mean? So yes, a mechanical thing just happened on all Ravencoin nodes and network. And now all blocks that are won are now issuing out 2,500 Ravencoin, not 5,000. So we will see in the coming months what happens here when it comes to like price discovery, and then just what that demand curve is on Ravencoin. Now we saw this with Litecoin, we saw this with the Vertcoin, we saw it with a lot of the different coins that have had halvings, that they had pretty significant price discovery over the next few months and year out. Let's take some questions, my dudes. I had a question earlier. Somebody was asking, when did I start getting into Ravencoin? I brought, I think, the first video for you all on Ravencoin in early January. It launched in the beginning of January in 2018. I made the first video on it on, I think, the 26th of January to show you guys how to mine Ravencoin. And then it kind of took legs of its own.
12.
So I found out about it like mid-January at the North American Bitcoin Conference from Patrick Byrne himself. Is there a Ravencoin smart node? No, Ravencoin is 100% proof of work. It does not have any proof of stake element in it. And we'll see how the supply, burn works right now with Ravencoin. Ravencoin still has its burn when you make assets, which burn 500 Ravencoin, and then 5 Ravencoin for, the very unique individual assets, the NFTs. Will you be moving hash rate off of Raven in the short term? We have a small amount of hash rate on Raven. We'll continue to mine Raven. even though it's now halved its profitability. We're still longing on getting as much supply as possible. I mean, most of the hash rate, we're at about a 70-30 split right now on our hash rate, with 70% going to ETH right now. We were at about a 60-40 for a bit, and then we flipped that where it was a 60-40 towards Raven for the last few months, just to see if we could get some blocks and ramp up some more supply for a bit. But we've since switched it back to 70-30 split.
Breaking the website. There it goes.
And then we have rigs on ETC. We have rigs on Ubik. And I just put 2 on Flux and 2 on Ergo.
Turn BBT up a little bit.
Do you think it will take? Let's see here. So what reward? So with the reward having,
watching
you
the
think
future, this guy is the grandfather.
that
One
the
of the
price per
grandfathers
coin
of
should
crypto
go up?
mining. There's a few
Typically it
others
does,
as well.
because you have a natural supply demand
But
dynamic
put
that
some respect on
happens.
his name.
And again, like I've said, almost all of these networks that have an event like this they work like a J curve. So it kind of goes up, just like it did to 13 cents right before the halving. It comes back down. It goes down to even potentially half.
Yeah,
It could go
super
down to
knowledgeable,
7-8
man.
cents again. And then
Super
over
knowledgeable.
time, the realities are
One of my
the
miners
demand
crashed,
curve on it.
so I'm
like,
rebooting it.
over
I
this
adjusted
entire
some
time, it's had
clocks,
5,000
rebooted
coins
it. I
per
had it
1 minute.
switch midnight
And
last
Ravencoin's
night.
price has been what it is. It went all the way to 27 cents there this
Not
year.
at midnight, but like
Even at
middle of the
5,000
night.
coins per 1 minute. Now it's 2,500 coins per 1 minute. So the actual inflation rate is halved. So if there's any sort of demand curve of where it's been, the natural behavior is that there's going to be less coins, and the price discovery usually goes up. So it's not a promise. Nobody knows, right? It all comes back down to the demand curve of it. But as more things are built on, Ravencoin has a vibrant community of NFT development, has a vibrant community of assets and general development and functionality that are tied to said assets. And Ravencoin having a layer 1 direct integration with IPFS makes it a very unique chain for that particular piece of it. It leans out the complexities that when you start talking smart contract architecture to a much more direct write type of architecture, which simplifies the risk greatly for people that are writing things and want to co-locate information on IPFS. I think as people start to build around that, it helps do some of the price discovery, because there is a burn function with Raven when it uses those functions. And over time, I firmly believe if there's huge amounts of price discovery with it, there'd be some adjustment to that burn, just because you're going to just really start nuking too much supply. It's kind of what's going on with Ethereum right now, where it's burning. It's actually deflationary over the last few days, where there's burning a lot more than the inflation rate, which is great for holders in the long term.
Morning, guys.
Let's see here. Hey, BBT, any tips on securing graphics cards at retail prices? If you're talking about the original retail price, like 3080s at $899, I think those days are gone for a bit. We've been using Discord and YouTube, but never fell. Sold out 3 seconds. New miners. Yeah. So I know several people that go and do the cycle at micro centers, Best Buys. We are putting some out at Crypto World. There's some on their Shopify site that we're trying to keep them relatively cheap. I mean, the 478 gigs we're doing under $300, and the 570s and 580s, and those are well under like Amazon prices that are like $479. But they're older cards, so nothing's really new. Some of these other questions. Can you talk about the builds on Raven and the use case? So yeah, Raven has a pretty diverse amount of functions and features on it. You can build assets on it, so you can
NFTs.
mint your own asset. You can mint NFTs
Savage
on
man,
it.
I was just looking at the
And
assets
you
he
can,
sent me.
what I like and what I built 2
Miss 'em.
years ago was like a registry for boring not a flamethrower where people could register their flamethrower on IPFS. So having a connection to IPFS is like having an attachment to a virtual drive, right? So if you write a transaction and then have within that transaction metadata that points to IPFS, it's like having a file store. So you could attach like a PDF or a picture to your transaction. And so then in history, you would look at the transaction history and then you would see a URL link that would then go retrieve a file on IPFS. And it's all embedded on layer 1, where unlike you would have like a Ethereum transaction where you're calling a smart contract and then maybe keeping something on like Sia or coin or Filecoin, and then you're having to write it in just like the comment box in Ethereum. This is actually embedded in the actual transaction state of Ravencoin, so that it makes it a unique use case for Ravencoin, for any builders that are trying to build anything that's co-locating files. So that's an interesting thing. And I know like Flux has with its para assets and mineable assets potential is a very interesting use case. I know EVGA's got some with its node structures interesting, and it's tying with Cardano. Each of these coins have function and purpose, and it comes down to you're gonna have different classifications of where people will point their hash rate to. Some folks are just looking for pure profitability, don't care about the functionality. Some folks are using the functionality, also care about profitability, but also are using the functionality. So they might. The spend assets, profile is different.
Reissuable.
If you earn coins and you're just selling them for US dollars and you're using those US dollars to buy other hardware or something, that's a particular strategy. I don't think it really fully
typically
you would mine the most profitable thing because you want the most for your hash rate. Then there's folks that will mine something like Ravencoin that are building on Ravencoin. So instead of having to pay an exchange a particular amount of money, this is why people mine, right? Like I get a lot of questions. People are like, why do people mine? And there's a range of reasons. Most of that reason is usually profitability, but some folks look at it as the leanest way to get coins, where they make a sunk cost in hardware, and then now they are contributing to the network, and they are a lot less fee structure to earn your keep, right? So if you're earning Raven and you're going to build on Raven, you're using this as a machine to get you Raven cheaper than if you're paying 3-5% on an exchange and then transferring it out of an exchange to your own wallet, and you're creating all these transactions that typically, at least in the US, you're creating all these different taxable events, right? Where if you're getting the coins directly from mining, you're earning them and then you're immediately spending them in the ecosystem without all that extra overhead and all that jumping around from exchanges and stuff. So some people use it as a baseline to receive tokens at a much leaner rate than buying them from exchanges, right? Now, tokens that you exchange Ravencoin for on like an exchange because you're trying to get Ethereum or wrapped Ethereum or Matic or whatever else, it all comes back down to the user class of participants, and then you got the profiteering class, and then you got like people that don't care about any of that and are just purely just buying NFTs and circumstantially they're looking at purely just the output, the features of a network, and are agnostic to the network. Don't care about if it's mining or if it's proof of stake.
Right.
They don't care, right? So there's just different. And typically a miner is usually selling to those folks if they're trying to buy, NFTs and stuff too. So next halving 4 years from now, my dudes.
Yep.
I did do a little article in comparison to, sourcing some data that somebody else had put on Reddit, fact checked those dates that were correct. So leveraged their already efforts, gave them a shout out on Twitter, and showed you guys what happened with Bitcoin over those time periods. And remember, Bitcoin's having events and folks access to buy Bitcoin at those times were a lot less liquidity in the system. So even though we're kind of in a bearish kind of downtrend market right now, which is mid-halving, this is
just
what happens.
Whether or not Tron Black,
you always have your pullbacks
in his
around that midpoint
meetings with him,
right in
on the cruise,
And
they're
there's a
planning
multitude of
on,
things that have effect on a price.
switching from
There's
proof of stake
definitely
at some
wells
point in
playing
time.
well games.
The
There's
short answer is
definitely
no.
people
Tron Black has
selling
no
some coin because they have to have tax liability coverage.
plans to do that.
You
but
also
just
have
wanted him
Fed's
to answer
raising
that
the interest
live.
rates in March, at least in the United States. The United States being a very big buyer. You have a lot of
Ravencoin supports
pressure in
miners.
Kazakhstan and Kosovo shutting down crypto. You have mixed signals across the east, the whole Asian East peninsulas of like what are they going to do with it. You have Northern Europe trying to figure out about ESG concerns and power usages plus power crisis over there. There's a lot of pressures in different areas, different exchanges, and where people have money at right now. So not any one of those things are directly responsible
Sorry,
for
I'm
pricing
moderating for
action.
'em
However, they
the same
collectively
time,
do have an effect on
keeping people in
individuals
check.
of what they're doing. I like to separate that in its own bucket of just there's things that are happening that have an effect on price. Then I look at what are look at the networks and what are they doing? Are they improving? Are they trying to add more features? Are they trying to add more? And what the features do is bring more possible user adoption. Are the UIs getting better? Is there a reason for somebody to leverage the tokens that we're all mining, right? And then you have, like, is that happening? And look at each of the networks that are doing that. And that could be both proof of work and proof of stake networks out there.
Cryptomica, I know you're busy,
Kinda
but you
rack
can
and
hop in
stack
voice
those.
with me if you want.
Distinguish the signal from the noise. And
I just figured I'd start
in
off
that
with
case
BBT because she was
you got people that are
dropping
just talking
knowledge
about
on
price.
everybody.
And then you got people that are talking about stuff being built, right? Partnerships, possible opportunities for
This is a huge
consumption
milestone
of the
for
coin to be
Ravencoin. I'm
spent
pretty
for a
stoked.
feature. User features, people that aren't necessarily, again, disjoined from like the mining class of folks that are mining. We're looking at users, people that are buying the coins, right? Potentially that are going to use the coins for the functionality. So what networks are doing that? We see a lot of progress on Flux. I've seen a lot of partnership stuff with Flux. I've seen a lot of partnership activity with EVGA. I've seen Ethereum Classic
Is it
in probably
Ergo or
its best
Ergo?
position it would ever be in if Ethereum actually moves to proof of stake. The natural transition of where is the hash rate going to go? That's a big question when Ethereum goes proof of stake. Ethereum Classic has the number one opportunity cost of the transference of that for a multitude of reasons, mainly because most farms and people that have configurations that's been mining Ethereum do not have to do much. All they change is ETH to ETC. And most of their configurations will work exactly the same because the underlying architecture of the way Ethereum Classic works is a lot like Ethereum. So your power profile, your usage, your heat profile, all of those things on GPU mining, Ethereum Classic has the natural attrition that will take most of that. Now, it all comes down to how much comes over. Well, that comes down to price discovery to allow how much, how much can that network absorb. But it is going to be a mix of all of these networks. Ravencoin, Ergo, Flux. There's always a dark horse that comes in somewhere. Somebody that's innovatively came out with a new
100%
token
agree,
that has a
Dustin.
new set of features that gets a lot of the buzz. We've seen that initially with Grin and Beam. And then I think both of their kind of issues, there's all kinds of issues with any token, but interactive networks are complex and they're hard. And people are like, man, I got to have my wallet open all
So
the time.
real quick, while I turn down BBT, what better thing to tie currency to than one of our most precious resources, energy, better than having it benched to an arbitrary basket of goods or corrupt treasury or Fed?
User adoptions, then you probably don't have a lot of people buying the token, and then the only people that are buying it are truly speculating, right? So
we'll have to see how
when you
things
have
turn out.
NFT structures, things that people are going to hold in their wallet, assets, wallets, things that are complementary to the network being developed, you're going to get some inertia on the buying side of that, which then drives up the price, which then allows more people to mine. So I'm very focused on proof of work side of it, but there is some complementary stuff on some of these other networks that are innovating, that are proof of stake networks, but innovating the tech stack and keeping things mostly open source. That way, some of the proof of work coins can inherit some of those features and functions. So, very pro the space. I think, you know, this whole concept of Web3, metaverse, the younger generation that's coming into this space that believes in this far more than institutions is going to drive the adoption of a lot of this stuff and the feature development. All of that being said, is our consumers that are buying the coins that we're mining. So again, if you're a miner in this space, miner being this miner, not young miner, you are supplying the security architecture.
Crypto Mikhail, I'm not sure how far away from the home are you.
And for that, you are
I'll probably be
compensated in a
streaming
token.
for like the next half an hour,
Nothing
45,
more,
if
nothing
you
less, right?
get home and hop on.
Security provider, you're paid
If not,
in a token.
it's all good.
Lots of feature development, said people that will buy said token, right? So it's a very circular economy when it comes to that kind of thing. Very pro on that space. Now, Ravencoin's having less supply in the system, more feature development, more demand, less coins for said demand, right? That's essentially what the halving brings to it. So we'll see over the next couple months. People were asking me timing. If we compare it to Bitcoin, it could spin out 6 months before you see any major price action in Ravencoin. But it all comes back down to the demand curve. The real world thing has just happened. Ravencoin now has 2,500 coins per block. Profitability is way down. We should see a retraction of hash rate come off that network. This will be normal because it's a purely a math problem on profitability. You're going to be looking at the numbers going, whoa, I was getting 80 coins per day. Now I'm getting 40. That sucks. And you move over to another network. And what happens is the difficulty of said network comes down.
Just
so now you may come back over to it, not paying attention to anything, and go, wait a minute here, I'm getting 80 coins again. Well, it's because half the people left. You know, and it's
almost
a very reciprocal thing that happens when
so after
a network's profitability goes down, is less people mine it, which means your yields go up. So if anybody stays holding steady on a network,
that's
you're just
not
going to see
guaranteed
your
for
yields
Ravencoin,
start
but
to go up as people come off that network.
You know, the Raven devs keep developing, keep improving.
So we'll see over the next few days how many people actually hold on Raven. And that's a real strong leading indicator that price is probably going to follow it, just because that's mechanically what's happened, where you have either a steady hold of people mining it, or you have a front run where you actually have a mining tick up, where it doesn't make any sense from a profit standpoint.
Let's look up
but
difficulty.
What it is people are like,
there's less
It's not
going to be instant,
available,
and
I want to get as much Raven as possible because they're front running the supply, the demand curve. So that's happened too. That happens if you look at Bitcoin. There's a really good model that it was out on Twitter the other day, where it was showing that no matter what the Bitcoin price was, you still had this constant lift
stay the same for quite some while.
It was incomprehensible of why that would happen.
But it's going to take quite some time for the network to adjust accordingly.
People understand that there's going to be less. There's less tokens available for the share because of the deflation.
We're at 500 Raven you spent on an asset, unique asset.
That happens with halvings.
Or what was it,
5,000? Some people bet on that there's going to be an exponential growth on that. Now, I would always take a half-hedged approach on it, where we're mining a couple different networks because we want to maintain.
So I use a test net,
purchase more hardware,
play around with
and do
assets
stuff.
instead of
but use some of that extra supplemental revenue that you make in cash, and you can buy the token, right, and get it at a lower rate. Right now, the Raven's at 9 cents. So again, not financial advice, just telling you what I do. But let's take a few more questions and then we'll wrap this one up. 360 people. We'll see if we can get some stuff answered for you guys. Hopefully, you guys, was this a good stream? Was this okay?
Yeah.
I mean, the video quality's crap right now because our cable's jacked up, but hopefully the audio's been good.
My internet's crap.
Try to give you guys some insight on how things are with this. Let's take some questions. There's always a delay. I run about I don't know, 4 or 5 second delay, maybe 8 second delay. So the halving's already done.
Yes, let me know if the stream's chopping up on you.
About 15
minutes, I got my bit rate dropping, fluctuating between 7 and 3. I don't know why it's doing that.
Reading through here.
Now it's up at 10.
Ron
You can't make
Watkins.
up its
E-Energy.
mind.
Yes, we just ordered some. We got some BC 160
160s.
AMD cards coming in. We got a 6-pack coming in. We're going to do a
SOB,
build
man.
for you guys.
I'm waiting on mine.
Would you guys like to see that build live? That's a question. So
Of
these are the
course.
new AMD non
What kind of
cards
question is that?
with
Carter? Of course
the
they would.
HBM2. They're supposed to be like 70 mega hash.
Who doesn't want to see it built live?
It's like it's all good.
That's what
Excellent.
we're here for.
I haven't done a live stream in a bit.
The
I
hardware.
was gonna try to do one in Vegas. It was just
PORN.
crazy.
That's what we're here for. That's what really gets the people jumping.
Thanks for the subscribes, my dudes. Yeah, if you're not subscribed, this is the kind of content we put out. Oldest channel on YouTube when it comes to mining. 2013. Most people hit the channel and they'll hit videos and then they'll hit Otis video and then they'll look at it and they go, wait a minute. 9 years ago, like you've been talking about mining for 9 years? Like Bitcoin's only been out for 13, my dude. Imagine if you you found this channel back then. Bitcoin price at the time was around 200 bucks. It went all the way down to like 160 bucks. We're doing Bitcoin mining, Litecoin mining. Litecoin mining, when I first started making content on Litecoin mining, Litecoin was about $2.
Got nothing else going once again.
It was right between
Comcast being
$2 or $1.80, $2.
Switch
and when
network
it would bounce
adapter,
up
so you
to
can't
$3
blend
and
network
go back down
adapter.
to $2. Dogecoin was
Probably gonna start resetting my modem. on a regular basis.
0.004 of a penny. It was crazy. Good times.
What was I looking at? I was looking at something. Ravencoin
Oh, yeah,
Block
the
Explorer.
Ravencoin halving happened about 18 minutes ago. The nice hash calculator is incorrect.
Yeah. Thanks, Rapid Mining.
Do a build on that BC 160. Yeah, we ordered 6 of them to test them out. It's for tripping. Can you plug Echo from E-Energy? Yes. We are gonna put we've done quite a bit of business with Echo. She's good peeps, and she's delivered everything she's said. We have A4000s, 5000s, and BC 160s from her.
I gotta change my payout settings.
Are you going to update the docs? Yes, Digger. We are looking at updating the mining model
Yeah, I
now
gotta
that
change that.
Ravencoins have to see what price Discovery needs to get to. Remember, now at this halving and the profitability, the Ravencoin would have to maintain 18.5 to 19 cents to have the same profit levels that it was just experiencing.
Yeah.
So in the short term,
It's not gonna be
a
profitable.
drive to at least even...
It will level
or
off.
just under even 17 cents. I don't think is too far out of Raven's
why not?
scope. Under the Bitcoin parity of what happened to Bitcoin between its move between about 12 cents
Losing the
to
stream.
the $212 after its
Buffering.
first halving.
Buffering.
That would be proportionally equivalent to Raven hitting like 21 cents
I
for
wonder if there's
people
a
that are
port that
trying to track
Comcast
that.
is blocking.
So after the first
This happens
halving,
over once in a
Ravencoin would
while.
technically potentially hit 21 cents if it was proportional to Bitcoin. Now there's a lot more liquidity in this system now, so that's not indicative of where it could be. After the second halving, if Ravencoin's performance was even half of Bitcoin's performance, after 2026, it'd put Ravencoin at $8. So that's half of it. It'd be around $16 per coin if it was at the same growth rate of Bitcoin after the second halving, when Ravencoin drops to the 1,250 coins per block. What's the immersion progress? Not moving right now. It's like -2 degrees in Wisconsin. Not a time to be messing with dry coolers outside. So probably in the early spring here, we'll kick that back off.
I have a huge delay on the stream, guys. If you can hear me. video outputs. We might go
All right, my
live.
dudes.
I might
We're gonna wrap this one up. 50 minutes. Congratulations for Ravencoin getting through its hat. It's very first halving.
Get on
Symbolic
Discord.
event. Glad to be here with you guys.
The modem.
Hopefully shared some information that you guys took.
It's okay. We'll
some
do
of it
two
is probably
different streams.
regurgitation of info before, but it's always fun to bring in some of the new folks. Hopefully you guys like the stream, and we'll have hopefully another one after this weekend when I'm targeting when we go to do the BC 160 build. And then you guys will see a video tomorrow. We're going to kind of show where things are at from a Ravencoin standpoint, profitability wise, and some of the stuff that we talked about today as kind of a quick recap of today's video.
Yeah, so guys,
for the folks that don't
those
have time
of you that
to
are
watch
still
an
hanging out in the
hour-long
stream,
video.
give me a few minutes.
I know, you
I'm gonna
TikTok
wait for
generation,
Crypto I'm gonna restart the
15 seconds
modem
and you're out, my
and
dudes. So lots
wireless
happening
adapter,
in
well, not
our
wireless
world
adapter.
when it comes to bits
Modem
per
and
trillion.
router, and then
We
I'll be
have
back.
8
Okay.
full-time people almost now. We're about 6 full-time.
We'll do our own stream without watching
to
BBT.
folks
Actually, let me
that
edit this
are,
one.
part-time, and we're hiring a few more people here soon. Social media manager. We're going to try to get some of the more hipper, cool stuff when it comes to some of.
Oh, his wife or somebody cut it off early. His wife or somebody cut it. They hit the premature button. Premature. All right, Ravencoin, or maybe he did it. Maybe he hit it early. All right, so we'll change this. Ravencoin having a countdown 2022 with BBT. And then Crypto Macau, I'll come up with a same thumbnail, but I'll come up with a different title. Guys, I will be back as soon as I can. Let me try to fix this internet connectivity issue, get that squared away. And then we can talk more directly to each other about what's going on, what's happening, what to expect, stuff like that. So, yeah, check back in a minute. Give me about 15 minutes, all right? All right, see you guys in a little bit.